Hi, Sam. It's nice to meet you. I'm Chelsea.
Hi, Chelsea. It's nice to meet you too.
I'm glad that we were able to meet uh, via Zoom.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult to find someone to talk to who doesn't have a real office. Not that you don't have a real office, but just one I don't have to go to.
Okay. Can I ask why that is?
Um, I just don't have to bother with taking the bus and getting down there and trying to find your office because it's downtown and there's just a lot of people.
Okay. So more convenient.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I get to not worry about those crowds.
Don't worry about the crowds. Okay. So tell me a little bit about what brings you here today.
Um, so a lot of it is I can't I can't really leave my house without this like looming fear. Just I don't like being in crowds. I don't want to be around a lot of people. Um, and I don't even have my license because going to the DMV is always crowded and I can't just go and get my license without avoiding people. So I have to take the bus places and it's just hard to do that when I don't want to be around a lot of people.
Okay. So does that bring a lot of anxiety for you or nervousness?
Um, yeah, a lot of the times it feels like I'm gonna die. Just my heart is ready to beat out of my chest. I almost have like tunnel vision trying to find somewhere where I can go to be by myself, and I can just never find like that exit. So it's so much easier to just stay at home.
Okay. Um, how long do you feel like this has been going on?
I think a lot of it started after undergrad, when I moved to the city, just because I'm so used to it being small. I grew up in like a very rural area where like, we don't even have street lights. So now being here, I thought it would be a good move to like get away from family and just try to be my own person and grow up. Um, but it's just so different. There's so much more going on. There's cars and people and like just there's birds and dogs and there's everything is just so close and you can't get away from it.
Yeah. Sounds like it's been a big shift in living environments.
Yeah, for sure. I barely even see trees anymore, and that used to be some of my favorite things to do. Just go out and sit and watch nature, and I can't do that.
Okay. Do you ever see it from your window?
I can, but it's hard in the city. Most things you see is just a bush outside, or
It's true.
maybe like the one sad tree that they planted in the middle of the concrete.
Um, how when was the last time would you say that you were out of your house?
Um, I don't even know. That's really hard just because I have my degree in teaching, so I can just teach. I just teach online, um, and there are those. I'm sure you've heard of those great things where you can like make your grocery list and it can bring it to your house.
Yeah.
And I don't even like all of my bills. I can just like do it online. So I don't know when the last time was. Maybe I don't know. I've really tried to avoid it since I've moved here, and I moved here maybe 2.5 years ago. And I've
Okay.
made small little trips to maybe like I tried to go down into the city and it was just too hard. It was way too much. So now I really don't go any further than my front porch.
Sounds very tiring.
Yeah, it is. every day is, especially now that it's getting nice outside. I see people outside and enjoying and laughing, and I just like, I want to be part of it, but I don't want any part of it because I don't know how many people are going to be there, or like, what if something happens and we need to get somewhere quickly and we can't.
So it sounds like maybe nervous that you might get stuck somewhere.
Yeah.
Always wanting to know where you are, where you can go.
Yeah, unfortunately, the city's kind of not like an apartment building where you see the little exit signs anytime there's a fire. It can kind of tell you where to go when you're in a panic.
I wonder, other than moving to the city, was there anything else that sparked it? Like maybe when you were in a crowd, or if you take the bus?
Um, I've always just been very anxious about things, just generally throughout the day. And I used to take there was a little trolley on campus that we could take from like side to side of campus, and that never really bothered me. But I also went to school on a small campus. So a lot of my life has been in these smaller areas. And
Mhm.
now it just seems like when I go outside, I just have endless ways to go.
Yeah.
And I don't know which is almost like I don't know which way is the right way to go, but then also which is the right way to come back in case I need to.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, I feel like I could map out the entire city and still not have a good exit route.
So it sounds like you like to be prepared for the unknown.
Yeah, it sounds crazy, but yeah, I just want to know how to handle with what I don't know.
Sounds like a lot of planning then.
Yeah, I do a lot of planning. I am in school now to just like further my teaching degree, and my planners are all very like organized and planned out of when I need to do things, how much time I need to do things. So I do like being very prepared for the day and knowing what's going to happen.
Okay. So every day is planned out.
Yeah, I do pretty much have a schedule I stick to every day.
Okay. Um, and you said you want to further your education for being a teacher. Is that done online as well?
Yeah. Um, so luckily, I mean, I don't know if it's luckily, but for me it is that everything can pretty much just be done online, that I don't have to worry about making it to class or anything. Um, and then when I have to do any student teaching, I explained to them that I already work at an online school, so they kind of said I would be able to do that with a different classroom if my boss lets me. Um, so I guess it was kind of like an easy out, so I don't have to worry about going and finding a school and being out with a lot of groups, because some classes in the city can be like really big. So I would rather a class of like small little groups of kids as opposed to like 30.
Yeah, I could see. Um, it seems like there's a lot of anxiety going on, um, and your life seems to be, or like the life events that you have been surrounded by what can I do online, or a way that you don't have to leave your house.
Yeah, pretty much.
What what's happened when like there's something that you want to do and there's not a way to get it through online or by the phone?
Unfortunately, that has happened. I've missed a lot of great family events and things like that just because I can't get home, or they don't want to have things at my house because it is smaller, or when they do plan like family events or there's like a wedding or something or a party, it is always at like big open spaces, like pavilions and stuff. We have a lot of summer things. So, I mean, a lot of my family, they're just kind of mad. I don't think they really want to try to reach out to me anymore to try to help because they know I'm not going to show up.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna ask a little bit about your family since you mentioned family events earlier. What has your family situation been like?
I mean, they're definitely worried, just because since a lot of my life is through a camera lens, I
Mhm.
haven't really made a lot of strong connections here, so I am kind of by myself. So it is something they are worried about. They have brought up coming back home, um, which I think would be a good idea, but just that whole idea of packing everything up and either renting a truck or having movers come and having them, like all of these people just coming into my personal space, my home, and moving my things. I don't know. I'm scared to see how I would handle it.
Okay. Yeah. Do you do you have any siblings?
I do. I have a younger brother.
Okay. Cool. Um, how is he with all this?
He's kind of he's distant about it. Um, he's tried to reach out, tried to come up and visit and do things, even just small little things like trying to go to a small diner or something to eat. And each time it just ends up in me not being able to go past, the front door or my front porch. And it just ends in a fight. And he leaves, and then I don't hear from him for a while. Sometimes it's days, sometimes now we're in weeks.
Weeks. Okay. Is there anybody else that you go to when things are getting a little tough?
I am really close with my mom. She's really worried about everything that's happening.
Yeah.
Um, she's the one that I don't want to sound hounding or say hounding because it sounds negative, but she's been kind of on me about trying to find some way to either learn about this to get a better like management on it, to figure out some way to, even be able to go to the grocery store down the street.
Yeah. Um, so you were saying, you were talking about earlier that because now you can get like a click list for food and get it
Mhm.
delivered. Um, how is the nutritional aspect of that?
Um, I mean, I think I do pretty well. I actually get, aside from my normal groceries, I get boxes of produce as like a subscription that are delivered to me. And it's like usually like 10 pounds. That'll come to me every other week. So I feel like that's a decent amount to like incorporate just being one person.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll get a lot of produce in, and it's mainly a lot of vegetables. Every now and then there's like some apples or some oranges in it. And then other than that, I don't eat a whole lot of meat. I try to stick to like fish, tofu, things like that. Um, and I'm not really like a sweets person or anything. If anything, I'd rather eat like maybe like a pretzel with some dip, or like,
More of a
I don't know.
savory.
Yeah, not necessarily like, and I'm not too big on like overly salty things either. So I don't know, it sounds kind of bland.
That's okay. However you like your food.
Right.
Um, Going on maybe some like different history. We talked about family, nutrition. Your environment's changed since undergrad, since being at home. Um, I was wondering if there was any other, um, like, do you have like friends that come over? Um,
Um, no.
no.
There's a lot of my friends after school, we all kind of went our own separate ways to live somewhere. A lot of them do meet up sometimes, like they'll meet in like some kind of middle ground and go and do things for a weekend. Um, and it's hard, but none of them, and I know they don't want to come up here because we're just gonna sit in my apartment. So, and I mean, I can't blame them, but I mean, I'd like to see them.
Yeah. So sounds pretty lonely.
Yeah, it is. Because I mean, besides my students and when we have like little faculty meetings, there's not a whole lot going on.
Um, so other than the anxiety about leaving, are there any other um, psychological feelings going on? Feelings of depression?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's like depression where I'm having trouble like getting out of bed and doing things, but just like the depression of being alone and just knowing like I can see people walking down the street and it looks like they're with their friends or like their significant other or their families, and I just watch them go by. And I think not only the anxiety of going outside, but just the fear of what's going to happen when I get out there. Because I know I have these walls surrounding me. I know what can happen in here. I know there's obviously dangers of a house, the general dangers that come along, but just all the things that are outside too. I just don't know who I'm going to run into, who's going to run into me, who I'm going to meet, just what's going to happen.
Yeah, it sounds like staying at home. It's the things that could go wrong. Like it seems less anxiety producing than going outside.
Absolutely.
I wonder what would like. How do you think you could handle like going just a little bit farther than your front porch? Just like a couple of steps.
Like I can already feel my heart beating.
Okay.
I think it would be a lot. Um, Now that it's getting nicer outside, I do try to spend a little bit more time outside when I'm not working. Um, but still, like my house is like right on street level, so like some people will try to say hi and just as they're passing by. And usually, if I see someone coming, I'll try to stand up and go inside quick, just because I don't know, who they are or if it's okay to talk to them. Like I obviously know like I'm not 6. I know like the whole stranger danger thing, but I feel like there's just that different, maybe like that different stranger danger as an adult. Like I'm sure you know what I mean, like cuz as adults people can seem friendly at first, but then they really end up being someone else, and I haven't had that kind of contact since I've been out here, so I feel like I might not be as able to pick up on it as other people will.
Okay. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Um, wondering too, what does your daily routine kind of look like at home?
So like on a Monday to Friday, school starts around 8:30, so I'll get up around 6, make myself some breakfast, get a shower, drink my coffee, and get anything ready that I need to for that day. Make sure all my lesson plans are ready, and then kind of work through the day until about 2:30, 3 o'clock. And then I'll spend time like grading anything that I have to until maybe if I get finished with like my work after work, I might sit down, read, do some schoolwork. I'll make dinner maybe probably around 6 o'clock. And then dependent on the night, if it's one of the nights I'm doing schoolwork, I'll do that until it's about time for bed. If not, I'll relax and I'll find something to watch on TV or um, just kind of find something around the house to do, maybe clean a little bit, something like that.
Okay. Sounds like you got your routine down.
Yeah, it's gotten pretty good.
There you go. I have a few other questions just regarding our assessment. Have you had any pastimes coming to therapy or doing it via Zoom?
No, the anxiety and stuff that I've always kind of had growing up, I've it's just kind of been at a level where I can deal with it and hasn't
Okay.
gotten to the point where I need to go anywhere or like I'm not on any medication. Um, but I mean, I don't know what's going to happen now because it's just like you said earlier, it's just completely exhausting.
Yeah, it sounds like it's gotten to the point where um, it's keeping you from being able to enjoy and explore outside.
Yeah, not being able to do anything just takes up so much time and energy.
Yeah,
And it sounds weird to say because some people say that they like not being able to do anything. And I just can't imagine enjoying not just, I can't imagine finding joy in staying in the house all day anymore.
yeah. What would you say some of your goals of therapy would be?
Um, I mean, I know it's a long shot, but finding a way to get out.
Okay.
Um, and not even just like out of my house, but out of like my own mind and that constant just worry and dread of what's going to happen. So just being able to get out of everything, but getting into some things.
Okay. Well, we can definitely work on that. Um, I think like one of the things that would probably be the most anxiety producing is um, doing exposures of going farther than what you've been doing like outside. Um, like just getting into the mindset that it's going to be okay and just taking it one step at a time. Um, for me, I would not push you farther than you would want to go. Like, stay as comfortable as you can, um, and pushing you just so that the goal is to be able to go outside. Not saying that we're going to do that today. Um, this is just in the future. Like we'll work our way up to it.
Okay.
Um, just something like this, um, like just mentioning briefly large crowds, being outside, um, feeling worried about, you know, finding a way out of somewhere. It sounds a lot like agoraphobia.
Okay.
That's probably what I'm leaning towards. As a diagnosis, it's fairly common.
So I'm not the only one that just doesn't want to
No,
leave.
no. And that's one of the great things about telebehavioral health is that we can chat and get comfortable with each other while you're in the comfort of your home before we can start meeting in person.
Okay. Maybe meeting for a good amount of time on here first.
Yes.
But okay.
Yeah. We'll go at your pace.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I can do that.
It'll be all right. It'll be probably fun at first. But I think once we get to know each other and work more on, just like for me, getting to know you and what ways I can help getting out of the house, I think it'll be all right.
Okay. I do feel I was obviously super anxious about coming and starting this.
Mm-hmm.
But just kind of being able to put words to what I'm feeling has
Yeah.
already helped feel a little bit better.
I mean, letting it out and talking about it, it helps give it less power over you.
I like that.
Yeah. So the more that we talk about it, the less of a hold it has because we're bringing it to the light.
Yeah, I like that. I want to get my power back.
Yeah. I want to be able to help you get it. Yeah.
Okay.
Just a few more questions. Just part of my intake process. Any history of any legal issues or any trauma in the past?
I mean, I had like 2 speeding tickets when I was 16, but other than that, no.
Okay. Have you ever been on any medication before in the past for anxiety?
No, it's never really gotten to the point where I couldn't handle it.
Okay. I wonder if that could be maybe something willing to think about in the future. Because I hear you saying like it's never gotten to the point where I've needed it. Just wondering if we could challenge that thought a little bit.
Yeah, I think things have gotten a little extreme. Um, as much as I believe in me not wanting to leave, I know I need to. Um, but yeah, I think it's gotten beyond the point of my willpower to just keep going.
Well, let's try like just the therapeutic route of doing our therapy sessions, and then if we feel like, or if you feel like maybe need a little bit more support or something to help, um, I can refer you to one of our practitioners that also does via phone or Skype.
Okay.
Just in whenever we've had people with very similar things that you're going through, certain medications do help ease that anxiety in doing the skills work. framework that we're going to try.
Okay, I mean, if you think it would be worth it, maybe we can set something up so I can talk to them, see what they think.
Yeah. It doesn't hurt to talk to more people about it. But if you feel like you want to just try this first, then I just want to show you all the options that we have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it might be worth it just because I'm too tired to keep trying to figure this out on my own.
Okay. Well, I'd love to help you with that.
Thanks.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. One last thing. Have there ever been any times where you've had any thoughts of self-harm or suicidal ideation?
No, none that I could think of.
Okay, that's good. I just like to ask, just get all the information.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not for me.
Okay. So I think we'll set up a time for our next session, and we can talk a little bit more about the goals that you have. Therapy. I'd like to start meeting maybe twice a week.
Okay.
Just to go over some of the skills that we use. We're going to start small and then build our way up to going outside. So we'll start small.
Okay.
Because the idea behind starting small is you have the different things that you've done using the skills as evidence that it's helping with some of this, and let's try the next thing. It's a little bigger. So we work our way slowly.
Like baby steps.
Yes, like baby steps. Yeah. Does that sound like a plan?
Yeah, I think we can do it.
Okay. I'm ready when you are. All right, well, let's get something set up, and I'll see you later next week.
Okay, that sounds really good. Thanks for meeting with me. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Anytime. Happy to help.